Cool. So let's move on to the mindset piece. An agent said to me as we were doing our Wheel of Life, which I touched on last week and we'll go into more in depth, but I love doing this exercise with realtors. I've been doing it for since 2010 when I did it for the first time in another coaching group. And she was like, I just hate that word gratitude. It's getting old. Everyone says it. And I started thinking about, man, I really use gratitude as a compass when I'm off balance and I'm off and I'm not in my equilibrium. I use that really to get grounded. I think it's the simplest way. If I can authentically get there, and I'm going to be vulnerable and just say there's a lot of times where I'm faking it and I'm doing my best to get to that place where I truly am feeling grateful. Because if you are in that space, there's not a better space, in my opinion. It's just really a good spot to be. And so I'm constantly trying to get there when I'm off. Like that's just, my go-to. When I'm off and I'm not feeling right and I'm not, I'm depressed or I'm, anxious or whatever, I try to get myself to go to this place. It's like a home base for me. So when she said that, very established realtor, very good friend, and it almost seemed like, I'm constantly trying to find ways to be grateful. I was like, man, is there really too much, expression of that? And I really started to psychoanalyze. And for me, the answer is definitely no. I do not think that if it's authentic, there's ever too much of that. But I do think in this industry, what we've heard a lot is, hey, be grateful. Even though we have all these struggles, look, it's the best year of your life. You're making more income. You have a job when so many people don't. And, I think we've said it in these talks before. It's really hard to stay in it when you're not feeling it, because it is a lot of work right now. We are definitely like, it feels like walking through quicksand and just trying to get through it and keep going every single day. That on top of being quarantined and all the other challenges, homeschooling that people are going through, makes it pretty difficult, to stay in that spot.
And Mark, so here's what I would like to offer to this group. And you know me well, and the audience here that will join us consistently is going to learn this about me very quickly. But I am a nerd in every sense of the word, and I go very deep down a rabbit hole when I get something that interests me. And the idea of gratitude and gratefulness is one of those things that I've done some work to research and understand for myself, because I really like to know why things work when they work. And what I will offer to this group is a concept here that gratitude is the opposite of fear. And so, and this is something you can research independently, but inside of your brain, it is impossible to be afraid when you're truly authentically in gratitude. So I think, Mark, what you were describing, right, for yourself, and I think this is just a great validation of that, of that discovery and research, is that those times where you're feeling anxious, frustrated, those negative emotions, below the line activity, that the places where our brain goes to when we are feeling overwhelmed, that the root of all of that is fear, right? Fear of the unknown, fear of messing up, of being judged, of being rejected, whatever those things are, failure. That fear drives us to non-productive activity, right? Where our minds are just in a loop where we're not creating solutions.
Yeah, I mean, you're so on point, right? Because just take this one example. Here I am, we're doing this activity together, and that one comment, for me, I was scared I wasn't going to have this person's approval, because maybe I had said that I was grateful too much, and it was just like diluted and a buzzword. So I got all in my head about, am I pleasing this person, or do they think ill of me? So, I mean, to your point, and I immediately went to a bad place. So continue. I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's very on point.
So when we say there's never too much gratitude, right? You can never have too much gratitude. Another way to say that is that you know, that it is very rare that there is a place for fear in your life and business. You know, there are areas where you should be concerned and you should be thoughtful, and you know, there's times for caution, but truly afraid, right? There's that prevents solution making. It prevents progress. And when you move to gratitude and you get curious about gratitude, that is that space where you'll tend to open up to new possibilities. Another, you know, mindset offering that we gave a couple of sessions ago was curious, not furious. You know, that this is an area when you start to explore gratitude in your life and the things that you should, you know, are and should be grateful for. You know, you start to connect dots, or I should say, I start to connect dots when I look at, oh, I'm grateful for, you know, my family, right? And that's, you know, that surface level answer, right? That might be, you know, less authentic, but when I actually dig deeper into that, like why am I grateful for my family? What's the depth of that? And I'm grateful to be included. I'm grateful to have people that love me unconditionally, right? I'm grateful to have a role in that family that's useful, right? And adds value. And if I think about my team in work, right? I'm grateful for them, but I'm grateful for them for the same reasons, right? They give me a purpose. We're doing worthy work together, work that has a meaning, right? That adds value to others and brings value to their lives. So when we say never too much gratitude, right? The depth in which you can find things to be grateful for, especially during this time when there's, you know, so many people that have, you know, that have had their cheese moved right during this craziness.
Love that. That's such a great analogy. Yeah.
I really think that this is a time for us to reflect. You know, hopefully those watching this, you know, even in either, you know, before or after the holidays, I should say, that we're in, that they'll have spent time with their family or intend to. That you can really unwind and give yourself some freedom and permission to reflect back on this year and really see it for what it is, which was an awesome opportunity, for personal and professional growth.
Yeah, and you know, in that growth and that discomfort, you know, that's where you grow and you get to the next level. And I think I started saying, you know, I've been in this business for, and I'm a better student. I have better understanding of the secondary market. I have better understanding, you know, the markets in general and how that works because of everything all the empowering that we had to do to either loan officers that work alongside me or the families. And, you know, that's just one area where if I look back, I've grown and I'm a better advocate to my clients because of that, right? I guarantee if you look at your life and you look at your arc over this year, there's going to be places where you can certainly, if you're thinking about it, find places that you've grown, and you've got a lot to be thankful for all of the stuff that happened. Certainly low rates have produced a huge bounty and a lot of headaches, right? But I think we, in general, have had an amazing year, and there are a lot of people who haven't. And some of you won't be able to visit families this year because of all of the COVID restrictions. And there's a lot of places where you can get down, and there's a lot of reasons to be down. But I think if you can keep yourself on the gratitude, you practice empathy with those people that are struggling, especially at the holidays. It can be tough. There's a lot of family. You know, I think about, you know, family and how tough it can be. It's also certainly great, but I just think it's, I would like all of you to find ways to give if you've had an amazing year, because that's one of the places where if you're truly in an active service, it is impossible to be fearful. Like Danny said, you're going to be in gratitude. You're going to feel good about what you're doing, and be empathetic with you're there. Practice being grateful. Know that you've had a great year. Everyone's watching you. They know you've had a great year, and so act like it. Conduct yourself that way. Stay on the positive side of the fence, and I promise you, it's going to be a much more rich time with your family, and you deserve it. You guys have all worked very hard. You've made a lot of sacrifice, and you know you can never be too much gratitude. I don't know how else to say it.
Last thing on this topic before we move on to the the action step for this session is when you're looking for ways to give, I would like to offer you a consideration for tactical gifting of your team. One of the things that definitely made a massive difference for me over the course of my career was when those were willing to invest in my professional development. Those of you that are part of this Tribe community, you are already investing in yourself, even just this investment of time, investment in professional coaching and guidance, right, are things that we are, as mortgage professionals often seeking. Our team members may not have that same lean, or they might just not know where to start. And early on in my career, I had mentors that actually sponsored me to get coaching, and that was one of the gifts I was given over time. And so I would highly recommend considering whether or not your loan officer assistant, your processor, your disclosure person might benefit from any sort of a professional development type of course, and ask them, right? Create a budget, 500, 750, 1,000 per employee on your team, and just ask them, what skill are you looking to, what muscle are you looking to develop for 2021 to be your best self, and to enjoy your life and your career more fully. And they might say, hey, I want a time management class, or I want to learn how to meditate, or whatever that answer is. Really consider that as a way to gift them, because that's a gift that'll pay dividends for your business as well.
Yeah, and one thing that came up for me while you're saying that is it doesn't need to be monetary either. It can be your time. A lot of your people, you think about really going through this exercise we're going to go through today with your processor. Dedicating your time and your thought and your love and your appreciation for that person can a lot of times go much further than any monetary gift that you can give. And so it doesn't always have to be monetary. Really invest in those people, and I promise you it will pay off in dividends.
So Mark, this just came up for me, and this is probably something that we could talk about as a completely different mindset offering to the group at another time. But one of the things that I have discovered, and it actually came from one of my current coaches, is that one of the greatest gifts you can give someone is your presence. And said differently, or with kind of more of a tactical lean, all any of us want to be in life is seen and heard, right? To feel part of something and to have our true selves, appreciated by those that we respect and have, and place value in, right? That we kind of put credibility around. And so that offering that I gave was really in the same vein as what you just shared, is, inviting them to say what their best self would look like, and then making a personal investment. And my suggestion was financial, into that best self that they see, that they want to manifest. You're saying, hey, it might just be time. I could not agree with that more, but really focusing on the end result, which is, that is an individual person that just wants, they just want to be fed and watered a little bit, right? And then they'll bloom. And I think that's a fantastic takeaway for this group to get.